Hello and welcome to my pre-wash shootout between these two. They're both ready to use citrus products. I've heard a lot of people raving about Forced lately, and rightly so, it's a great product. But my favourite for a while has been Pyramid, so let's put them to the test and see how they get on against each other. I've split the car up, the front and back doors in half, so with a little bit of a buffer zone in between two. We'll use Forced at the front of the front door and the back of the back door, and Pyramid taking the middle of them. These are both gel-like and slightly foamy pre-washes, and as you can see going on, Pyramid is the thicker and more foamy, and that does actually allow it to dwell longer, which you'll see in a moment when I come back to the car. I started the rinse off when Forced was drying. Pyramid probably could have dwelled a bit longer, but I wanted to give them the same amount of time, the same amount of sprays, and roughly the same sort of size panel to work with. Also going to pre-wash the wheels and tyres with them as well and see how that gets on. Take a little swipe test later from the wheels as well as the areas on the body that we've separated, because they are multi-purpose products. You can use them more like an APC or for pretty much any cleaning, and I have done a comparison before where I've used them as tyre cleaners, and Pyramid did come out on top cleaning in slightly less hits on the tyre, so I'm interested if that cleaning power does translate to wheels and bodywork as well. I'll quickly mention the prices. Forced in this litre bottle is £9, and I can't do a direct comparison because Pyramid comes in a 500ml bottle for £6.99, so they're not far apart. Just finished spraying the rest of the wheels, and then off camera I sprayed the rest of the car and came back round, and you'll see that Forced area is starting to dry slightly, so I started the rinse off. Pyramid was still able to dwell a little longer, and you can see my protection's holding up well underneath. That was dual flex applied last week, so the dirt shouldn't be stuck too bad anyway, but which will help the pre-washes out. I decided to go straight on the dirty panel as well today, which I wouldn't usually, just to get the maximum sort of effect out of these. And then you see Pyramid rinsing off. It's foamier going on and sits on the panel, but Forced seems to foam up more when hit with the pressure, but they're both rinsing off easily. You get that little bit of foam in so you can sort of see where you're going. My tape there just holding on for dear life, which is why I put sort of buffer zone in case that did come off, just so I didn't go overlapping the products and rinsing them onto each other. And that's them all pretty much rinsed off. They're looking good. I'll take you in for a closer look now in just a second, and then I'll come back and do some swipe tests in a minute, but I'll also carry on and rinse the wheels off as well now. Oh, I've missed a bit down there. I'll pick that up when I do the arches. But apart from that, while wet, they're both looking pretty spotless. So we'll have to do the swipe test just to double check, because when it's wet the panel always looks glossy. I'll speed this up a little bit while we just rinse off the wheels and arches. And tyres too. I'm not going to be deep cleaning the tyres today because I'm running tyre serum on this side and Go Show tyres on the other side, just keeping an eye on those products. And you can see the tyre really is repelling water there, which looks good. But that's for another test. Now onto the Forced side, rinsing off the arches and tyres and wheels too. So far on bodywork and these areas, I can't really separate them, apart from Pyramid was that little bit thicker and foamier on application, but when rinsed off they both seem to be doing a good job, so we'll just verify that with the swipes. Here we go onto Forced. I'm using that block just so I get an even sort of contact area. One swipe the length of the door, and pause that there for a second for you, and that is actually surprisingly dirty. And then into the Pyramid one, the same, it's just one swipe up the length of the door, and a little bit, but a little bit better I'd have said than Forced. And then onto the second Pyramid part, one whole length of the door, and that's pretty spotless, just a little bit damp, more than dirty there. Then onto the back Forced section, and that's surprisingly dirty as well, so Pyramid is doing better on the cleaning power on the bodywork. And I'll do a little one on the wheels as well. So this is the Pyramid one, just from a contactless sort of pre-wash, a little greasy there still. And let's go around and see how Forced got on. Same sort of swipe from just a contactless pre-wash. and similar, they're both just still a little bit greasy, they need contact on the wheels. And here's a look at the results, and I would say that's a win for Pyramid. I've now snow foamed the car, and as the wheels need cleaning, I thought I'd reuse these products again as the wheel cleaners and tyres. So then I'm going in with my little Vicam brush, which I sort of pre-sprayed, and it does foam up slightly as you're using it. It's obviously being the Pyramid side, and then in the arches as well on my Easy Go brush. That foams up nicely as you use it as well. Finally, just a soft brush on the faces, and I'll do the tyres with that as well, as I'm not aggressively cleaning the tyres at the moment, as I'm following some dressings. This is as satisfying to use as any other wheel cleaner really. Obviously you don't get the red bleeding you would from a fallout remover, but for a maintenance wheel clean and arches clean, this one product really can do it all. And that is rinsing off to be absolutely spotless on the wheel and tyre, so there was no need for any harsher chemicals today. I'll go and do the same on the Forced side, see if that acts as well as a wheel cleaner. So in the arches, over the tyres and the wheels, on my brush, and work it around again. And I'm actually finding that seems foamier when agitated actually. This easily matching the Pyramid in this situation. That's also done a very good job. So not much between these two products in terms of ability and what they like to use. I'll also mention they both smell kind of citrusy. I don't know if that's added or whether that is just how they smell. The only thing I can separate them on was the swipe tests on the bodywork, where on a similar size panel, a similar swipe, same amount of sprays, same amount of time to dwell, Pyramid did remove more dirt. So it's a win there. You hear a lot of people talking about Forced, like I said at the start, and it is good, but it's not the best out there.